Moving on to topic 2, we're, I guess, sticking with games, but not really the consoles around them. I wanted to pick John's brain about Baldur's Gate 3. So we talked about this a while ago on the podcast with Turn-Based TJ. Oh boy, a few episodes now. He had played the crap out of it. I just started dipping my toes into it. And John, being the big D&D guy, I wanted to see, what his thoughts and feelings were about Baldur's Gate 3. So, John, to start, is Baldur's Gate 3 your first Baldur's Gate?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Cool. How was your experience jumping into Baldur's Gate 3?
One, being a dungeon master and knowing how Dungeons and Dragons works was a huge help. How a turn works, how certain actions versus bonus actions, how movement works. Like it flowed literally just like the actual Dungeons and Dragons game, just in a video game format. So I was very happy about that. I was very excited to dive into that. Since it is a very narrative heavy game, replayability for me was hard because I'm playing the same story. But the crazy thing is there are thousands, and I mean thousands of different outcomes. Like the one thing that I did in my first playthrough, I cannot replicate the ending because it all depends on who you romance. It all depends on who you talk to. It all depends on who leaves. So like in my first gameplay, I lost 3 companions because one of them died, and I didn't meet the quest for the second one, and because the one of them died, I couldn't get to the third one. So I just had the normal party that you get from Act 1, and I missed all the other people. So knowing that, I'm not going to do that again. So I'm not going to have that same outcome.
Sure.
And there have been like certain players that I've watched who have done all bad plays, who have done all good plays, who've made good decisions, bad decisions. I've watched people how you like can optimize like your best run. So like watching all of those things, it's just like there's absolutely no way you can play this game the same twice. So that has given me like a resurgence of wanting to play again and seeing how optimal I can play. Because right now I'm playing a monk and I'm trying to make it like the most power building game ever. And just being like super stat wise, how can I make this guy amazing? So that's fun because if you know where the stuff is, it just you just feel powerful. So that was my experience with all of that. I love how you can romance anybody. That was pretty cool that you could go after that. Story-wise, they made it very versatile, so they don't pigeonhole you. So that was really, really cool. The other thing that they do is like there's a situation in front of you, and there are so many different ways that you can go about it. So like in Skyrim, there's like 4 or 5 different things you can do with an NPC, and you can go in those 5 or 4 different directions. One major NPC, you have like 100 different things you can do. So like you can either make them your friend, or you can make them not your friend, or you can kill them, or you can steal from them, or it's just there's the possibilities are endless, and like there are glitches that you can figure out, and how like, oh well, I can just, as long as I don't go to this area of the map, this person will still be here, and I can just keep buying these potions over and over again, or stealing them from her if I'm good enough. But narratively, it's such a good game. And like if you're a person that is like, I'm gonna go talk to this cow, and the cow turns out to be something crazy, like I didn't expect this. So like there are always those unexpected moments that are just really cool. And like one run you don't have speak with animals, the second run you do, you just go talk to all the animals, they all have dialogue. Like it's so cool, and it's a lot of fun, and it makes me want to play D&D. So for me, that's been my experience with it. And like I was a little upset that I could only go to level 12 because I'm the type of guy who always wants to go to the max level and be godlike. But that Larian, the developer, basically said there is no way we can bring people to level 20 and make it equate because they have literally taken things from the book and made the characters off of that. Like almost everything verbatim is from the book, from 5e. So it's been a really awesome, smooth transition from playing D&D to playing Baldur's Gate for me. And it's fun to play because like it makes you think. I play on custom mainly for the fact of like it is really hard. It is not easy. Like it is probably one of the hardest games I've ever played. And it is challenging. And not only is it challenging, it is rewarding. But it's also like I just want to kill somebody because I can't go back. Save scumming is a thing, and like if you play honor mode, you only get a few. So it's like you gotta use them wisely.
Sure. So you feel Larian did a good job of translating what the 5e and D&D editions were to
100%.
make them, yeah,
100%. Like they hit it right on they hit the nail on the head. Like they listened to the community. They like you would have to be a D&D player to know how to make them marry correctly and to be a good game. So I've not played Baldur's Gate 1 or 2. I've seen them and I've seen like how they play, so they're very old games. So I don't know how they correlate to older versions of D&D.
Sure.
But this one was a very, very good adaptation.
Do you think there was anything in the game that you didn't like how it ran? Obviously, you mentioned the level 20 stuff, but was there anything else that stood out? Like, this could be better, or I didn't really jive with it?
No.
Okay.
I think, I mean, obviously they didn't make a perfect game. No, there is no perfect game. A perfect game is a game that you play till the day you die. So, but I could see myself playing this game multiple times. But when it comes to like things gameplay wise, I think they did a really, really, really good job of AI, how monsters work. The monsters are smarter than you. Unless you put them on easy, like then they're just dumb. But like if you play on like normal, like they're hard. They're not easy. Like they have certain magic that others don't. Like I remember fighting these at level 1 or no, sorry, level 2, which is right after the first tutorial level. I fight these skeletons and. They're like level 1s, level 2s. They're easy to kill. They're like cannon fodder. They have silence, and like that's a pretty big spell to have at level 1 because it takes away a lot of your capabilities. Like if you have Gale the wizard, that takes away almost all of his arsenal. It also takes away Shadowheart's capabilities. Like she can't cast any of her fire spells or her Sacred Flame. So you have to rely on any of your physical damage dealers to go kill that one that's casted that. So it just makes you think. It makes you strategize. And I like that. But it's also a little hard.
Sure. Was, as you were going through, were you playing single player or did you play any of the co-op?
So all of my friends are PC Master Racers. So I couldn't because there's no cross-platform.
Sure.
And I've been waiting for it because I want to play with people. The only time I've ever played with somebody is split screen, and that was annoying. Okay. So I have primarily just been playing by myself. But I would love to play with different people because I've heard the experience is different and it's fun. So like if you haven't, I would suggest if you haven't played it, play it by yourself. Learn the story, get to know the story, have fun with it, because if Brett and I were to play together, I could go up to an NPC and Brett doesn't have to watch what I'm doing. He can just go and do his own thing. And if he accidentally does that, he misses the scene.
Sure.
And there's nothing he could do to get back into the scene. So at that point, it's if you haven't played it by yourself, play it by yourself, then play it with friends. Because, obviously there's scenes that, you're not going to get playing by yourself. But, it's worthwhile to play by yourself and then start another one. So, but yeah, I'd love to play with people. That would be so much fun. That would be so cool.
How many times have you played through it?
I am on my second run. I am playing a monk. First one I played was a full paladin. I played one of my characters that I played in the past, Noxus, but I didn't want to do the 3 levels into paladin and then go into warlock. I just wanted him to be a paladin because I feel like I should have made him a paladin from the start. I mean, I liked what I made him, but so he was just a paladin. Now I'm making a monk, way of the open hand, and then I started another one. I'm making something called a Soradin, which is a sorcerer and paladin, which is said to be really diabolically powerful. So I can't wait to see how that plays out. But it doesn't really turn on, if you will, until 5th level. So
Gotcha.
which is quite a while.
Sure. Yeah. Did you have a favorite ally or party mate? Like, for example, I liked Gale's story. From what I played of it, he was just as annoying as shit that I had to keep recharging him like a battery, or else he was gonna blow up.
After a while, that stops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just goes, "This isn't working anymore." It's like, finally, you're stealing all my stuff. I would say. So Halcyon was one that I never got to play with, so I don't know anything about him.
Okay.
And so this playthrough, I'm very intently, because I know where I went wrong.
Sure.
My friend told me, he's like, "Do you want a spoiler?" I'm like, "Yes, please. I've already beaten it. How do I keep him?" And he told me what I had to do, so I'm like, "Oh, that makes sense." So I wanna get to know him, and then there's I can't remember if she's a ranger or a fighter. Jiraiya or something like that. She's in the second act.
Oh, okay. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. These are like second act
Sure, yeah,
characters
no
that
worries,
you can get. And then the and if you don't kill her, which I accidentally did, you can get another person in the third act. But you have to go find him.
Sure.
And the only way you can go find him is if you have her in your party. Okay. If you don't have her, you don't get to go find him. And then there's another character who I've never chosen, so to get her, I have to do an evil run.
Okay.
So I'm thinking about doing a, what's it called? Dark Urges, and just going straight evil, because everyone's like, "Oh, you have to play the Dark Urges." And I'm like, I don't really want to fight against Dark Urges and try and be good. Like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm going to do full evil. Unfortunately, I've seen one thing and it's like, "Oh, but I'm gonna lose a party member." Oh well, I'm full commit. But I would say probably Karlach. With what I've played, I don't like the endings that they choose for you with her.
Okay.
Because I chose to romance Karlach. Not my very.
A lot of people did.
Not my very, very first. Like, my very, very first was Shadowheart, because she was right there, and I didn't know Karlach existed. And and then I met Karlach, and I'm like, oh, oh, okay. So Karlach probably would be my favorite companion. I like Will, but I haven't spent enough time with him in the game. I like that he's just justice.
Yep.
He's justice. If you say like if you do one wrong thing bad wise, he's like, you're dead to me. Like he just takes it so personal. Same with Karlach. Like the only person like I feel like there's no gray NPC. They're all either on one side or the other. Like Astarion, Lae'zel, like you have to be a jerk for them to approve.
I tried being that gray area for a while,
but you just can't.
I did okay, and I'm going to tell you the story of why I quit Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh no,
because we've never talked about it. So first off, I didn't realize there were that many comrades. I thought it was like, oh, I'm almost done with getting Karlach. I knew Astarion was somewhere. Because obviously he's everywhere in terms of imagery, but
he's literally like one of the first people.
Well, I must have ran right past him.
You did. You can. You can. And yeah.
But yeah, that's cool that there's more and more people you can recruit.
Oh,
that's
there's so many, and they actually in the new patch they added a new person.
Oh, neat.
And like I think I just found her, but she wasn't a playable person yet.
Sure.
And they're like hinting at this is a playable character now, and now the new patch is like we're going to make her a playable character. Neat. So, but dude, there's so many.
That's cool. So yeah, I was trying to play Keeper of the Peace here. Like, all right, everybody calm the fuck down.
I want everyone to like me. It's okay.
And I was doing pretty good, I would say. Like, I got Lae'zel to chill the fuck out.
You can.
We were pretty friendly, and like I loved her because she just whooped ass wherever we
went.
She was my big, meaty orc lady that could beat the shit out of people. So I was like, all right. So you mentioned thousands upon thousands of things that you can do. I absolutely love that. You can have the freedom. I've heard a common example. This is early Act 1, so I'm not going to say this.
There's not too many spoilers in Act 1.
Sure.
It's fine.
So there's a big orc encampment.
Oh, yeah.
And there's multiple ways you can handle it. You can go in guns blazing. You can go in chat and be like, hey, whatever. And I've heard you can poison them because they're all partying, they're drinking.
Oh, that's right. I've heard about that one.
You can poison the alcohol, wipe them all out. I'm like, oh, that's great.
How do I do that? From
a minimal D&D experienced person, I was like, that's awesome. You let the players have their choice.
Yeah.
Lots of freedom. So, John, we're talking about character relationships, right?
Yeah.
So, if you don't know, obviously the party members sometimes have different alliances or allegiances, or they don't like each other. Mm-hmm. So, Lae'zel, as I talked about, and Shadowheart, as you talked about, they got beef.
Mm-hmm.
At least from what I've seen.
I think I know which one.
However many hours we're talking about. So, when you rest at night, you go to a camp.
I know exactly where you're
going. You go to a camp, you talk with everybody, whatever, and then you're going to rest. Well, I went to camp at some point, and Shadowheart and Lae'zel are yelling at each other. And I'm like, all right, everybody calm the fuck down. And I got the piece. And was like, let's sleep on this, all right? You sleep. Then you wake up, and Shadowheart's over Lae'zel, dagger throat. And I'm like, what the fuck? So
what are you doing?
So I'm like, well, I'm going to intervene. I'm going to get you off.
Smart.
Leads to a fight with Shadowheart. Now me, I'm like, oh shit, it's on. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. So Shadowheart's against the rest of the party. I'm stressed.
Oh, like it's an actual
It's an actual
like
fight.
turn to turn.
It's an actual turn to turn fight. Oh, John doesn't know about this.
No, I didn't know about this.
Okay. So it's an actual turn to turn combat fight.
Yeah.
And I'm stressed. Good. The game is making you feel emotions, whatever, And I'm like,
supposed to do.
Yes. So I'm fighting her, and I'm like, I don't want to lose Shadowheart because it's still early in the grand scheme of things.
It's still Act 1's pretty early.
Yeah. So I'm like, I still like you. It's not like, oh, get the fuck away from me. So I'm like, I am going to purposely end this fight by not killing you. I'm going to knock you out.
Okay. So
and make you pass out so you're still here. You're still conscious with us. You're just taking a nap for the rest of the night.
Right.
I'm like, we accomplished that. Knock her out. Yes!
Fight's over.
Everybody go to sleep. I wake up the next morning.
She's gone.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I went through all this work to not kill her on purpose. And this is the thing you don't let me do, is be just and good. You're just like, nah.
Well, so the fact is like It wasn't the fact that you knocked her out; it was the fact that you sided with Lae'zel.
Sure.
And that was so. There are ways to lose your party. She's not the only one.
No,
you can lose Lae'zel. You can lose Astarion. You can lose Will. And if you're not careful, it's literally when Karlach joins the party.
Sure.
And if you don't talk well and you don't have a good charisma, he could just walk away, and like you might not ever get him.
Sure. And that just pissed me off so much, John. For a game that has all these avenues and choices, the fact that I can choose, I'm going to actively not hurt you because I want to still be friends. I want to help you get this thing out of your brain.
Yep.
Help you with whatever you're smuggling in your the pouches. And then they're like, nah. I'm like, fuck this.
So the thing that I also love is that they gave the NPCs free will.
Sure.
And that I was like, that's it. They came at this like a DM, like your actions have consequences. And I remember one of my D&D groups falling apart because one of my players did not want consequences to his actions, and he played a warlock, which that's the heaviest one about your consequences, because there might be a time where you don't agree with your patron, and your patron's like, I want you to do this, I don't want to do that. All right, there's consequences to your actions. I told you to do something. I give you your power. I take it away. Like, I'm allowed to do that. Like, that's part of what the class is. And if you don't like that, we can have you play a different one. No, I just want to play the way I want to play. Like, well, I'm sorry, that's just not how it works. Like, I don't mean to be a jerk. And then it basically got to the point it was just like, I just don't want to play anymore. And then another person's like, yeah, I don't want to play anymore. And then there was only 2 left, and they're like, well, they don't want to play, we don't want to play. It's like, okay, great. But I love that if you want, like, I've kept everybody except for Lae'zel. So the thing that you're talking about, I was in that same point. I hate Lae'zel. She is a whiny.
She is a piece of work. Don't get me wrong.
She's so whiny.
I only liked her because she kicked ass, and I needed that.
Well, the thing is I can make anybody else do her job.
Yeah.
And so once I figured that out, I was like, I don't need you.
Sure.
I don't care about you. The only time I need you is if I'm going to the creche, because then I can get in, no problem.
Sure.
But yeah, let's shout out our killer.
Yeah.
Like, that was my first playthrough. I was like, yeah, kill the bitch. I don't need her. I don't want her. I don't care.
Yeah.
She's making problems for us.
Like, I liked all the characters, and I think that's why I just was mad, because I wanted to keep them all around. Even though they're all their different personalities, I wanted to still try and, like I said, hey-ho, we're eventually all cool together.
So the only people that have that interaction are those 2. There are, like, and Will and Karlach are another one, but that one is not as big as a beef as those 2. Like, I don't know. Maybe they might go to blows. I don't know.
Who knows?
Because I've never let it get that far, and I've never gotten to that point. I've always been able to diffuse it, and it's always gone, well, this sucks for Will. Oh, well.
Sure. So, like, whatever I just said, I do not, Larian and what they've done with Baldur's Gate 3, it is still a phenomenal game. It was just, that was just my, and I was streaming it too, like, you could probably go back, but I was just like, no,
fuck,
that was my
done.
point of like, I'm good, and like, I thought about going back, and I do want to go back eventually.
You should go back. It's a great game.
It's just like, I was like,
so
thinking of, once again, all the possibilities you could do. Like you said, talk to a cow, and they have a quest and all this, and then I try and do the right thing, and it doesn't work.
So my suggestion to you, and this is what has always been a suggestion for every character that you make on Baldur's Gate 3, have a high charisma. The higher the charisma, the easier the game will be.
Well, sure. Yeah.
So first run I had, Paladin. Their second stat is charisma. Then I made a warlock, which I'm kind of just messing around with, but like not really taking super serious. But my monk, then I'm actually like, okay, we're gonna go, and I'm gonna be very efficient about this. He's got a +1, and there was, it was with there's a hag. You meet a hag.
Oh yeah,
and
she's a nice lady.
Yeah, I'm trying not to spoil too much for you that you don't know. And that you can.
I just got to Karlach, and she recently just joined the party. So that's where she was. I met the hag.
Okay.
I think I got to a point and stopped with her quest, but
good, because you shouldn't fight her unless you're level 5. I will say that. She is hard.
Yeah.
But when you fight her, there is an opportunity if you do enough damage in the first round. This is kind of a spoiler. I'm going to give it to you though, because
I'll forget it.
Yeah. She will beg for her life
Sure.
and give you something in return. And you can, and I was trying to do something very, very specific because I wanted to kill her and I wanted to do a glitch, but I still wanted the 2 things that I wanted to get from her. And I couldn't pass the DC for persuading her or intimidating her because it was disadvantaged because I was poisoned. And I had such a low score, and the person that would normally give me guidance, I had to keep off on the side because she was the one who was going to kill her. So it just got to a point where I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just take the 1." But I know what happens with the person at the end, and like that's gonna bite me in the ass. I already know it. In Act 3, I know it's coming. I'm just waiting for it, but. You should go back and play, and I would even suggest, like, do you have Withers, or do you not know who Withers is?
I'm sure. Get a description of them?
She's a zombie.
Then no. I don't think so.
Okay, so when you go...
Wait. He was at the camp? Is
yeah.
he the guy? Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah. I was
he looks like a zombie.
Familiar.
He looks like an undead zombie.
Yeah. I woke him up, and yeah, he's chilling at the camp.
So you can change you can respec with him. You can get underlings. I got a bard from him for the first time, but they're basically like, it's just having Withers with you. Withers just talks in their voice. It's kind of creepy. It's weird. But you can respec, and you can not only respec yourself, you can respec anyone. So like, since you lost Shadowheart, you still have access to have a cleric. You just have to change somebody who you're not using.
Yeah.
Which I thought was amazing, and that's why I love it. Because, like, I don't want Will to be a warlock. I want him to be a cleric. Okay, I'll make him a cleric. He's still his story, because you haven't gotten far enough to know what his story is.
No.
And it's pretty big. But
yeah, turn-based TJ, Will is one of his favorite characters.
Yeah. So I would, because like if you have a high enough charisma, you can get through any of that bull crap, and everybody stays with you. It's the Act 2 and 3 people that you might miss, because you just either don't have them or you don't know how to keep them. Because like I had Halson join my party, but I never could play as him. He was always green, not blue. So it's like, well, how do I get him? And then like it got to a point where he's like, yeah, I guess this didn't happen, so I'm gonna leave. I'm like, wait, no! And I didn't want to go back and do it because I had already beaten like Act 1's boss. So it's like, I don't want to go back and do this. So again, I would wait, do you have it for console or?
Yeah, PlayStation 5.
Oh, I was gonna say, if you had it for Xbox, I'd play it with you.
Sorry, no.
But yeah, go back and play it, even if you have to start over.
Yeah, I would definitely start over. And like, I know you're talking about the charisma thing, and I think this is kind of like similar to Fallout. Like if you have, is it also charisma?
Yeah, there's a charisma base.
Yeah, like how like you can lie and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think like once again, where I gave up. That's part of the experience. I think it was also just me streaming, potentially just like if I was playing on my own, I don't know if that would have punched me in the face as hard as it did, perhaps. So like I understand that charisma thing, but I think that's part of the story and the journey playing these types of games.
Oh yeah, it's like,
you don't want to just be like,
I tried so hard,
cakewalk, Yeah,
it's like I tried so hard,
right,
and I got so far, but in the end, didn't even matter.
Didn't matter. I knocked her out in the camp.
Well, I mean, at that point, it's just kind of like, let's think about it. If somebody knocked me out, would I want to stay there?
Well, no, but like,
it's a game.
Calm down.
It's a game.
We need to figure out what you're smuggling and why I'm keeping your secret from everyone else.
Oh, that thing?
Oh, I know it's something important, but
yeah, it just magically appears in your pocket. Well,
Oh well.
It's super important to the plot.
Sure.
And if she stole it, obviously.
Yes.
So if she dies or is gone and just walks away, you have to have it. Like it's not a thing. Like if she's not part of your party, you still need to actually have it.
Gotcha.
And the game makes you have it. There's no way for you to get rid of it. Like I've tried. I was like, I wonder. I was like, oh shit, I can't get rid of this. So, yeah, totally. You should go back and play it. And if you really want to try and keep everybody, there is a way to do it. You just have to have a high charisma.
It was, like I said, it's just because me playing D&D, I enjoyed the crap out of it when we were playing. I'm not that good at role playing, so I'm just like, I don't know, I'm generic good guy. Let's all go, guys.
Yeah. The game kind of makes you role play. You got to think about like what you say and what you do because like I'm trying to think. So like it's not like where it's like Fallout 4. It's like, oh, I want to say this, and then it's not at all like
what you were trying to say. Yeah.
It goes in line with what you're saying. So it's not like you're like, that's not what I wanted to say. Why would you say that? No, but it is a very, if I pick the wrong thing, I might not get something. Sure. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. So like with Volvo, because you meet Volvo in there, and there's an interaction with him, and at the end of it, you get an eyeball that allows you to see invisible things. And if you didn't do the thing, and you're just like, no, this seems kind of dangerous and stupid. Why would anybody think to do this? Like, any smart person, and I really mean this, any smart person would stop. But me, I was stupid, and I was like, fuck it. Keep going. And when it got to the end, it's like, here you go. And then I read, like, what the thing did. I was like, this is, like, the best thing ever. I can see invisible things. I don't care if I lost an eye. So, yeah. It's all just really thinking carefully, like, what will this get me? And like, now after beating the game, I go in and say, YouTube, how do I do this?
Sure.
Oh, okay, that's how I get it. Perfect. But yeah, you should definitely go play it. I think you'd like it a lot, especially since you don't have to do the role play.
Sure. Yeah, I had a great time with it for the however many hours we did stream it. But yeah, just a matter of like, oh yeah, it's a big game. All right, let's sit down. And like you mentioned, time.
Oh yeah,
finding the time.
I mean, like I think I was playing it one day, and I played it for like almost 8 straight hours.
It's easy to do.
And I hadn't made any progress, but I made a lot of progress.
Right.
So, and my wife Rachel comes in, and she's like, "You're still at this part?" I'm like, "Yeah." What have you been doing? And I showed her everything. She's just like, oh my gosh, like I would be so frustrated. Like I would feel like I had accomplished nothing. I was like,
sure,
but I feel like I accomplished everything. She's like, no, I can't do it. Like she plays Overcooked with me. She loves Overcooked, and she never played video games. And I introduced her to Stardew Valley.
Oh fuck yeah, dude!
So she was kind of pseudo living with me at this point, and I was still working at Global, and I'm like, all right, I have to go to bed. I'll see you in the morning, or just make sure you get some sleep. She's like, okay, and she puts on my headphones to play the game, and she's sitting there playing the game, and then I fall asleep. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning to go to work. I turn and I look, and she's still playing the game, and I'm like, how long have you been playing? She's like, I never stopped. I was like, you're gonna go to bed, right? She's like,
no.
Oopsies. But like, she loves that game, and like, even after beating it, like she still played it. So like, the only reason she doesn't play it is because of time. Like now being a teacher, like that takes up all of her time.
Yeah, that's tough to just pop in and pop out like other games. Like you could do it, but it takes a lot of what is the word? I guess self-control. Just
no, it really is, because like after a day, you're just like, okay, I got this,
right,
and this I can do.
Lines
and it's like, it's hard to put down.
Yeah.
Like I even told her tonight, I was like, I think we're going to Brett's house. I think Kate will be there. I'm sure you can hang out with her. And she's like, no, I have a lot of stuff I have to do for school.
That's fair. Yeah.
I was like, hey, proud of you for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So if she didn't, she probably would have came and been like, oh, I'll hop on.
Yeah, anytime.
But yeah, like, you should totally just jump right back in. Start fresh.
Taking a sidebar here. You mentioned Overcooked.
Mm.
Do you guys want another game very similar to Overcooked?
Yeah.
Have you heard of Moving Out?
You know, I've seen glimpses of it, and I'm like, this gives me like Overcooked vibes.
Yeah. You're a little moving company.
Yeah.
You're moving furniture.
I figured that's what it was.
So there's two of them similar to Overcooked, but they're very fun.
Nice.
A little frustrating, but they're fun. Kate and I have played them together.
Yeah, the Overcooked has gotten to a point where I'm just like, I have to practice, otherwise I'm going to be
some of those levels
frustrated.
Oh, yeah.
And just can't. And
Yeah.
I think when Rachel and we got to a point where we're like, all right, if we can do 100 points smoothly, then we can play the level.
Sure.
But she's just like, I just want to play the level. I'm like, I don't.
There's some of them where the timer doesn't start, and what Kate and I would do would just be like, okay, the timer hasn't started yet. Let's figure out our game plan. Like, get in whatever groove we're going to do.
Yeah.
Not deliver anything.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you send that first plate out, timers.
Yeah. And there are just some where you're just like, this is stupid.
Yeah, you're like, oh boy.
You fall in the water every 5 seconds. You're just like,
Yep.
I hate this game. This is the dumbest game in the world. But then she's played Gang Beasts. She likes Gang Beasts. She likes all of like the party games that are just like very super easy and simple. Like there's not a lot of complexity. But then her first game that she ever beat on her own was Hogwarts Legacy.
Nice.
Like she beat that, and now she's like, then she's just like, well, I wanna play a shooter. I'm like, okay, and I downloaded the Master Chief Edition, and she beat 1, 2, and she's halfway through 3.
Cool.
I was like, this is the hottest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, you're actually, like,
Never said that about me. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, when you're not a girl.
I'm teasing.
But it was like, she's not great. Like, I would bring her here if we were to play, like, a big party Halo. She probably wouldn't hold her own, but she'd have fun.
Yeah, just out there chaos.
Yeah. Yeah. Just chaos.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, it's very, like, she doesn't know how to make her thumbs do what they are supposed to do.
It takes time.
But she is turning into a gamer when she has time.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Cool. Very nice. Baldur's Gate 3. Nice.